All right. God damn, it's cold. But it is winter whiteout, or whatever they're calling it. Whiteout weekend at US Bank Stadium. We got the Giants coming in tomorrow. Christmas Eve day. Final regular season home game. Will not be our final home game because, in case you didn't hear last week, we made the greatest comeback in the history of the National Football League, and we won the NFC North because of it. But now it's, with each week, kind of like what are you focusing on becomes smaller and smaller. We've checked off the box for the NFC North title. We are officially, mathematically, we absolutely cannot fall farther than the 3 seed. So, and we are not mathematically out of it for the 1 seed, but we would have to win out and Philly would have to lose out, and that's not going to happen. So, we're going to be either the 2 or the 3. Really, these next 3 weeks, I think the results of these games depends almost entirely on what the coaching staff and the players want to do. Like, do they want to push in all the way for, we want the 2 seed no matter what, and we're going to just go full on all out to get this 2 seed? I don't know. I wouldn't. I want the 2 seed. I've been screaming about the 2 seed for weeks. But and it'd be so much easier if the 49ers were capable of losing, but it doesn't seem to matter who the hell their quarterback is. They just keep winning. They have literally the Mr. Irrelevant quarterback now, and they just keep winning. So, and I have no doubt that that's going to continue. I know they play Washington this week. I think they play the Raiders and the Cardinals in their last 2 games. So there's a very good chance they're going to win out. So the Vikings have to win out in order to get the 2 seed. And I think they know this, or they have to suspect it anyway. But do they care enough? Because we've had some injured guys. We've got some injured guys going again. We've got some injuries. Bradbury is out again this week. He's already had an issue with his back, and then he got in a car accident sometime this week, and it kind of tweaked the back. So, he's out. My guess is we don't see Bradbury again until the playoffs. I would be pretty shocked at this point. When you're dealing with a back, that's not something that feels like something that could be a lot more long term. And Schlottman, he's been fine. I mean, we literally made the greatest comeback in the history of the NFL with him as the center. I know it's not giving him the credit for it, but I mean, if you can do that, you can get by with Schlottman. And I believe who are the other 2? There's 2 guys who are questionable. I think it was Cam Dantzler, who was I think he was born on the injured list or on the injury report. And then I think Kendricks was the other one. So that's not bad. I mean, that's not bad for injuries for going into week 16. My guess is both those guys won't play, because why are you risking? I just don't know that you need to risk it in that way anymore. Maybe if you hadn't still clinched the division, it would be more of a thing where we really want to get that wrapped up. Don't have to worry about it. Obviously, I think if they hadn't wrapped it up and this was their last home game and then they were going on the road, I think it would be more of an urgency factor. It's really, to me, it's just about what do you want to do. You could go all out for the 2. If we don't rest anybody and we just go all out, we could certainly win these last 3 games and finish, what would that be, 14-3, and go into the playoffs as the 2 seed. But if you go all in and some of these guys get hurt again or hurt worse, then maybe you're facing some 7 seed that's hot, and they might be able to get you. Whereas, the 3 seed, if you end up with the 3 seed, there's no guarantee that you're going to be faced that the 6th seed is really going to be a whole lot better or worse than the 7th seed at this point. Everyone's freaking out about the Lions. I mean, because like, oh my God, they're so hot. Well, they might even end up the 6th seed at this point. Like they're like, especially if we beat the Giants, like that would increase Detroit's odds of jumping as far up as the 6th seed. So, you know, I don't know. Like, and of course, you know, I think right as of right now, it's Giants 6, Washington is still 7, but they're now just a half game up with the tie over the Lions and the Seahawks. So, you know, and Washington plays the 49ers this week, and I believe that's in San Francisco. So there's a very good chance that Washington will not be in that 7th seed in a couple more days. So, you can pull your hair out, you know, for the next 3 weeks and be like, oh, we got to do this. You might end up with a more favorable matchup as the 3 seed than the 2 seed. Now, the big thing there, the difference there would be you would only be guaranteed one home game. You know, if you win your first playoff game as the 2 seed, you are hosting a game the next week no matter what. That's not the case with the 3. You still could possibly if we lose the 3 to San Francisco and they're the 2. If San Francisco gets beat the first round, well then you still get a home game. But you know, I don't see that happening. San Francisco is going to be really hard to beat in San Francisco, which is another reason why you really want that 2 seed. Because if it's all chalk, then you're playing the 49ers at home in the second round of the playoffs, which, you know, that would be an incredibly tough game no matter where you're playing them. But I would certainly rather have that be taking place, you know, at the Purple Palace. You know, I do think the Vikings are gonna. I think they're gonna kind of hedge their bets a little bit. Like, you know, everyone made a big deal about the Detroit game a couple weeks ago. They were clearly resting guys purposefully that they probably could have played. You know, and I think they know that, you know, it's about more than the 2 seed. So I've been talking for like 10 minutes about just the 2 seed versus 3 seed. Of course, the Giants are coming in here. They're very needy for a win. They're going to be, you know, we only play desperate teams lately. we've played like, I don't know what, 5-6 straight games against teams that are fighting for their playoff lives. I mean, even the Colts technically were still mathematically alive when we played them. And the way Tennessee's fallen apart, hell, the Colts could have been right back in that thing if they hadn't given up the biggest lead in the history of the NFL. Did you hear that we made the biggest comeback in the history of the NFL? Boy, I tell you, I sure you wouldn't know it from the coverage this week. No team, you know, just like no team has ever accumulated the record that the Vikings have had with the body of work that they've had, beating a lot of contenders and good teams, and gotten such disrespect. No team has ever made that big of a comeback and gotten no respect. It's just, it's like they only care about the 33-0. Well, yeah, 33-0 was terrible, but the 39-3 after that was pretty damn good, and it was historic. But we don't get any credit for it because it's the 2022 Vikings, and it is illegal for anyone in the media to give this team any fucking credit for anything. It's unprecedented. There's never been a team, and obviously, like, there wasn't the media machine, you know, decades ago that there is now, but there was never been a team given so little respect as this Vikings team, given their record and their body of work, and the accomplishment of creating the greatest comeback win in the history of the National Football League. And then it was just like, oh, well, you know, they were down 33-0, so it doesn't count. Well, yeah, if it's a big comeback, you were down a lot. That's kind of how it works, genius. So it's frustrating that even now, they don't get credit for anything. You know, people laud the Detroit Lions for eking out a win over the Jets. Well, when we beat the Jets, it was considered like blasphemy. Like, how dare you? only beat the Jets. Hell, we beat the better quarterback too, for that matter. Zach Wilson, real good game on Thursday Night Football. Well, he almost beat the Lions 4 or 5 days ago. So what does that tell you? It's very frustrating, the hypocrisy and the double standards when it comes to the coverage of the Vikings this year. But it really has become a season and a team where if they don't win the Super Bowl, they're going to get no respect. And even if they did, they still wouldn't get respect. People would just look at them as this weird, like, fluky oddity. It's really unfair because, like, mathematically the odds that this team wins the Super Bowl are very small, but they're still having a hell of a season with more to go. They deserve a lot more credit than they're getting. That's for damn sure. I mean, hell, they're barely favored in this game, and I think this will probably be another close game, like as is their way. The Giants are a very desperate team, fighting for their playoff lives. They're in a little better position now, but if they lose to us and maybe Washington and Detroit, and I don't know who Seattle plays, but if they all win, well, then the Giants are right back in the grinder. So it's gonna be a tough game because they're gonna be going all out. They've got one of the best running back weapons in the game in Barkley, mobile quarterback who has played well before. This is good. They don't have a particularly good defense, but and we are pretty healthy. I mean, we are, aside from Bradbury, we are pretty damn healthy. We're getting Irv Smith back probably here pretty soon too. That'll help us. I mean, Irv Smith hasn't really worked out as a primary tight end, but if he's your number 2, that's gonna give us a little boost. And like this team fights. Like if they get down 7 points in this Giants game, they're not going to be sweating it because they know that they can come back. We know that they can come back. There's not much to this game because it's really all about what you want to do. Like the pressure's off so much now after winning last week. Not that I won't be stressed out when it's a close game late in the fourth quarter, but the penalty for losing is now drastically decreased, and I think they're gonna be in good shape. So again, it's us and the 49ers for the final 3 weeks. That's what you got to pay attention to. And of course, the other thing that everyone's going to be following is Justin Jefferson going for maybe 2,000 yards. I mean, he's already about to break I think he's he's only like 10 yards or something away from breaking Moss's record. I remember the last game of last year, everybody was booing at US Bank Stadium as the game ended because we didn't force the ball into JJ a few extra times to get him the record. And I was telling everybody, like, we're going to get a new head coach who's more offensive minded, and JJ is going to shatter that record the next season. And here we are. He's going to break that thing, and then some. He's still got a shot for 2,000. He's got to have some pretty big numbers. Like, obviously, that might all depend on if are we playing starters into Week 18 in Chicago. Because if we're locked in, I guarantee they're not going to start anybody in Week 18 in Chicago. Because it's probably going to be really cold. Probably not as cold as it is right now here, but it's going to be really cold. It's going to be a game with nothing to play for. So why? And you're going to be playing the next week. So why risk anything? Involving JG just for a record or not even a record at that point. I mean, maybe it would be the record. Maybe you're still going for the Calvin Johnson record, but. I don't think they would do that. So beyond that, there's not a whole lot else to talk about. It's going to be the whiteout game. Everyone's hyped up about it. I don't really know why. It's some fun, I guess. I'll wear a white jersey to play along, but I don't have many white jerseys. I need to get some more. Yeah, I think they'll win. I think this will be, the Giants are gonna really be playing hard because they're playing for pretty much for their season too. They'll be the more desperate team, and sometimes when we've been playing the more desperate team, that's kind of gotten us, But I think we'll win. I think it'll be in that 30 to 27 type of range. Maybe not even that high scoring. Maybe more like 27, 24 type of thing. But we will win. I think we'll get it done. There'll be some incentive because it's the last regular season home game. Yeah, I think we'll get it done, and that'll make us 12-3, and then we got at Green Bay, at Chicago to finish up. We might be able to officially eliminate the Packers next week. I mean, we'll see what happens with the Packers. I don't even know. I think this might be the week they're playing the Dolphins, so they might get eliminated already. But that would be a nice capper for this season, if or for the regular season anyway. If we could go to Lambeau on New Year's Day and eliminate the Packers, that would be a lot of fun. But for now, it's Giants. We're gonna beat them. That's because I said so, and that's all I gotta say about that.